Cool, cool. All right, guys. I know you're seeing a little bit different face here today. It's usually Dylan, but I'm running it today. He's sick as a dog. So everybody try to wish Dylan, send him a text, send him something in the chat to get better. He's our COVID boy now. Him and his mom are COVID. So hopefully Dylan gets better. Not letting him come in the office get us sick. So keeping him home. But yeah, good to see you guys, man. There's not much people in here. They should be trickling in here and there. But we'll just go ahead and get started. Um, Good to see a lot of you guys again, a lot of the same faces. See my guy Terrence, he's always in here. My guy Mason's in here. He's one of my callers, man. He's directly on my team. Say what up to Mason, man. He send him anything you got, he'll help you with whatever. My guy Greg's in here. Awesome PPC, and I mean, look at the guy. He's a handsome dude. I mean, he's making us look bad. So, hit up Greg if you need any PPC, PPD leads. But yeah, man, welcome to the Herd of Profits Zoom. If you're not already in the Facebook group, go ahead and do that. Will someone please get that a link in the chat? We post, we have two Zooms a week, Tuesday and Friday. We're actually going to be doing a lot on Discord too, so stay tuned. We're going to have big things coming with the Discord, maybe coming Christmas, maybe after. So make sure to keep your eyes open on the Facebook, join the Discord. My guy Jake should be putting that in the chat, or Rachel. But yeah, man, let's jump right into it, man. Let's learn some creative finance, some wholesale. I think Angie's gonna put something in the poll if you guys want to do like a hot seat, you want to do Q&A, want to do some calls. Will you get that poll going? Let's see what everybody wants to do. And if you have a question, just raise your hand too. And I'll answer whatever, and then we can go from there. I think somebody's got their hand raised. Oh yeah, there's the poll. Agent outreach, comping. I don't know why submitting offers there, but finding buyers. Yeah, just go ahead and click that. What do you guys want to do? I see Robert Draper says Q&A. Do you have you have a question right now, Robert? What's up, man? You can go ahead and
Yeah,
answer that.
thank you. So let's see if I can keep this concise, but I think I've been making some progress in this thing. So I've been using Privy,
Okay.
and I finally discovered you're supposed to go right for it gives you indications of where the heavy investor activity is. Then you can check the Privy thing with what they think are deals in that area, which I've been doing. And I've been also discovering PropWire, where I go over and I can find out how much equity
Yeah.
these deals have. And what I've been finding in a number of them, and there's certain part of Texas actually, is that these owners have 80, 90, 100% equity in their homes, yet their homes are going down in value, maybe one or two times in a month or so. So,
Yeah.
isn't this an opportunity for owner finance if my thought would be if they come down, if they're willing to talk about a lower down payment and terms, then we can give them their asking price possibly and take care of the other things that you guys always enumerate.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. What I find for seller finance mostly only works with tired landlords. It doesn't work a lot with people who are owner occupied, and they're trying to get into another home. Unless they
Oh,
have,
okay.
all the money in the world, or they don't need this sale to go grab their new loan. But I find the best way to get seller finance deals, like you said, values going down, right? They can't get it sold, they're on market. I would look for when you go if you use PropWire, filter it for absentee owners, right? They're retired landlords, they own a few properties and they got one sitting on market and it just cannot sell.
Hmm.
Those people will be more open to a seller finance because they'd be willing to become the bank, right? Then they're a landlord without having to be a landlord. They just collect the checks. We do the rest. Um, so that's what I
You,
find is best to try to get people to do seller finance on those properties. Now, you're going to find that you won't get the best of luck going after homesteaders and trying to get them to carry
mm.
all their equity to you.
Okay. So you said that was on PropWire where you can look for absentee owners
I've never
entirely.
used prop wires, but I know it's similar to, PropStream, batch leads. You should
Yeah.
be able to filter absentee owners,
Okay.
and
Oh,
it's basically
you can do that on Privy.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I don't use Privy that much. I like
yeah.
PropStream the most.
I put
I
over
use
1,200 bucks into it, so I'm kind of invested in the thing right now. But
okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, all of them, all of them are great. They all serve their own purposes. I just use PropStream for what I do the most. Found that PropStream works best for what I do. Um, but yeah, make a filter for absentee owners, man. That's who's going to be doing seller finance. That's where you're going to
okay.
find the best luck. Right, because homesteaders, people who are in that property owner occupied, they're not going to be as keen to wanting to do that, especially if they want to move into another property right away.
All
They're like,
right.
I want all my money, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Naturally, yeah. Thank you, Joey.
But nevertheless, yeah, no problem. Brandon, I'll get to your question. Hold on. Somebody said, Joey, how is you guys dispo fee? What do you mean by that, Robert?
Oh yeah, yeah. How it works? I just wanted to know. Yeah, my team is asking me. Like, it's like, okay, I don't know.
If I were to dispo your deal,
Yeah.
it depends. My guy Jake's gonna put it in the chat. Depends on a cash deal, a wrap
Okay.
deal, your specific deal. I have to see the numbers and see what our buyer brought. So it all varies. I don't have a specific number,
Okay.
but I'll let you know that
Okay.
if we, yeah, for sure, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Brandon, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Joey? Thanks for having me. Yeah, so I just had a good call with the agent about a property that's been on the market for about like 90 days. Just do some front load of just rapport building. And then I got into subject to, and she's like, "Hey, I had all these offers on subject to," and I started talking and talking, and she's like, "You're actually the first one that actually had a conversation longer than 3 minutes." And I ran into a few objections I conquered. What if you don't pay the mortgage? So handle that one. That was good. How to get the debt to income off, with a servicing company, blah, blah, blah. Got that off. But one thing she said that her broker just like met with like the real estate association or something in North Carolina and a few lawyers, and they're advising people not to do it. I was like, I didn't want to like rub it in her face, like, no, you're wrong. But I was like, yeah, that makes a good point. And like, I would love to answer any of those questions. But, people are doing these state to state, they're doing hundreds of transactions a month or even a year. And like, people are doing this. So you're going to get more of these types of transactions. But I think you're wrong on the legality behind it. Cause yeah, it's on the HUD statement, it's on the actual contracts, it's actually on the education when you do get your license. So I was curious, how do you handle those objections when they're like, oh, well, we talked to an attorney or people on the real estate association and it says you're not allowed to.
I
So,
get that all the time, Brandon. Right,
mhm.
you'll get an agent. Well, this is actually loan fraud. And my agent told me, or my my attorney told me this is not legal. Um, Now if they're just right, they only see one way, they got tunnel vision, they won't believe you on anything you say, right? You're not going to convince these agents. Pace always says, um, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. We're not going to
Mhm.
convince these people, right? If they truly believe, right, their tooth fairy told them, their attorney told them, their brokerage is the end all be all for them. I just kind of let them think they're right. I give them the facts, right? It's on the federal
Yeah, you don't want to
statement.
fight
I
with
can
them,
show you
huh?
I can show you all the proof. You can call my past sellers, you can call past agents. I teach this 2 times a week to agents. You can, use third party stories, but what I find is I'll call the seller and I'll pitch my offer every single time.
Mhm.
If they don't
Yeah.
want to show their seller and they're saying, oh, I advise my seller against this, I'll call their seller straight up and I'll explain my offer, how it's going to net them more money. And then I'll still tell them, hey, I'll still pay your agent their commission, still pay them their listing fee. But I find if they don't want to hear you and they think it's illegal and their brokerage won't let them do it, we did a deal 2 weeks ago where the agent said, I'm not going to touch this. I don't want to be a part of this. We called the seller. We got the deal done without the agent. She dropped the listing. Um,
Mhm.
so my advice is go straight to the seller, tell them how they're going to make more money. And if they have some other objection where they just don't want to do it, then it's not going to work. But I get that a lot. An agent will tell me, my attorney told me it's wrong. And then I always ask, is he a real estate attorney?
Yeah.
Just to kind of, I'm
Some of
like,
these
how about they
agencies are
talk to
just
my attorney?
Some of these agencies
Yeah,
just don't want to learn anything new, so they're just going across the board and saying, "Hey, it's illegal. We're not going to touch it." So it's you can't even convince them because they just drink that Kool-Aid, right? And Joey's right. So you just go on to the next and find other ones, and then their competitors or somebody that they know will do a deal, a subject to deal, and they'll realize that, oh my God, you can make money off it, and then they'll come around because basically the money talks and the sale talks. They're able to get the job done for their client and then get their commission. As long as it's ethical and legal, they're gonna do it. They just have to be showing it a few times. And the ones that don't agree with it, then you just move on.
yeah, and you guys make a good point. And she was not nasty about it. She's like, yeah, we've tried to do these before. We've consulted with professionals. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I would love to jump on a call, whether it takes. I said, hey, I just switched my business model, so I'm new to Subto, but I have people on my team that do hundreds of these transactions a year. And I was like, would love to jump on a call if I can't answer those, whether it's 1 minute, 1 hour, or 3 hours. I want your time to be my time, or my time to be your time, and answer anything that you have. And she was kind of more open. She's like, yeah, well, like, send me what you got, and if I have any questions, would love to jump on a call. And I was like, yeah, if this property doesn't work, it doesn't work for everybody, but I still want the gist of it is getting a relationship with you. And that's kind of how I kind of ended the call on a good note with her.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And like I said, I try to, or I never want to go around agents, but if they're so
No,
tunnel
yeah.
vision, they don't want to listen to our offer and they won't even show the offer, I'll call the seller every time. Because at the end of the day, the seller's selling the house. It's their decision. Agent's there to aid them and help them, right? They do a lot of work, but if they don't want to even present my offer, I'm going straight to the seller every time. Pay says he's like, if these agents want to,
Yeah. Not wanting
act
to
like they
work.
know everything and tell me that my attorneys are wrong. Pace is closing thousands of deals all the time. It's
Yeah.
like they're gonna tell me I'm wrong when I'm doing,
Mhm.
thousand more deals than them. I'm gonna go straight to their seller every time. And I'll still pay the agent, still pay them their commission.
Yeah. Throw them a bone because they might open their eyes for future
Exactly.
deals.
Exactly. But you'll get that a lot. They'll say their attorney told them this is illegal, this is fraud, the contract doesn't hold up. I literally had a guy tell me yesterday or 2 days ago, I sent the seller a contract and he goes, my attorney says this contract's illegal in this state. And I go, you can call True Title, which is my title company in Oklahoma. You can call them and ask them about me. I just closed like 5 this year in Oklahoma on this exact contract. Just to prove, you know what I mean? You'll get that all the time.
Awesome.
Usually an attorney's job is to say no. That's what they do. They tell you, no, don't
Yeah.
do this. That's kind of
Because
their
it's not in
job.
the benefit of the seller, but it is if it's like a last case scenario and it's a Hail Mary and it solves a problem, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Robert,
I
go ahead.
dropped the recording. It's like 20 minutes. I dropped the recording in the chat if anyone wants to download it and see what type of objections come up. Just if anyone wants to, listen to it in the future. I dropped in the chat.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Rachel, will you
Appreciate it,
download
Joey.
that for me? Yeah, no problem. Robert said, where are you buying in OK? Anywhere with 100,000 or more in population. Um, Tulsa, OKC. I got one in Claremore I'm working right now. Yeah, just nowhere, no little tiny towns. And they actually did make wholesaling illegal in OK. You have to be an agent. So I have to double close or consult, get a consulting fee. Oh, Rachel, I was saying to download Brandon's call was going to help him. My computer gets all weird when I download audio.
Joey, I bet you Dylan has that 7-minute call. Man, it goes over a lot of good stuff. I don't know if everybody's seen it, and he's in that. Is it the Closers Olympics, Ange? Is that what he's in?
No, it's I don't know what it's called. Closer's Octagon,
It's
something.
called the Closer's Octagon.
So our very own famous Dylan is in the Closers Octagon, and he's
And he
passed
made
up
it to
the
round
round.
2.
Yeah, he not only made it, he breezed through it. He got 89% of the vote between him and another guy that were going against each other. So he's kicking butt.
Him and our
We
guy
do have
Moritz.
that video. It's chopped up, but it answers a lot of questions. So Joey, that's something maybe we could play for them today as well if we run out of questions here.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that once
Brandon
once
said
we run out
thumbs
of
up.
questions. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It goes over a lot of stuff. It's a really good call. Robert, you got another question, man?
Yeah, just briefly, Joey. it's not, I mean, when you say you go around, but you've given them a first shot, right? The agents, it's not like you immediately, I mean, do you ever go around them? You don't. So,
If it's on market, I call the agent first every
okay.
time.
So
Unless,
that's just a pleasantry, more or less, isn't it? I mean, it's
yeah,
not any kind of legal thing, but you've given them the best shot.
Well,
and
it's
that's why
not a
I'm not an
legal thing,
agent
but they
on
have the
purpose.
contract. So you can't go around
Exactly.
them anyway. They'd still be involved in the deal. So it's not illegal, but it's not the right thing to do. And if you are an agent, then it's sign crossing. So then
Yeah.
you could get in trouble.
I'm purposely not an agent so I can call sellers
Yeah.
like that.
So
But if it's on market,
in
I
a
call 'em.
sense, it's their job to present any offer, and they're just blanket saying no, that's not an offer, and cutting you off.
It's actually
Exactly.
their obligation. They have to.
They're legally obligated to
Legally
show that
obligated.
offer.
That's part of their
But you'd
responsibility.
be surprised how many times they say they're not even going to show their seller. I'm like, don't you legally have to? Well, that's when I'll call the seller. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go straight behind them. I'll still pay them their listing commission. Um, but yeah, no, good question. If the only time I don't call the agent first, even if it's on market, is it on my text campaigns. I have a lot of text campaigns where I'm texting sellers, and maybe PropStream showed that it was off market and it is on market, but I got a text back from the seller, saying, yeah, I'm interested, call me. Then I'll call the seller, and then they may be like, call my agent, or I'll be like, I'll call your agent after we get off this phone. Just wanted to present you my offer and what it sounds like, just so your agent doesn't have to, I don't have to teach your agent to teach you, to still pay your agent. That's the only time I don't call the agent first if it's on market, because if I have a text campaign going, then I got a direct response from the seller, and they're like, yo, call me. Then I'll call. But yeah, good one. Let's see. I'm trying to read the chat. Are these meeting recordings available for us to access? Yeah, they should be on Angie's YouTube. If you go to Angie Milinazzo's YouTube, you'll be able to see them after that. You'll see all the old ones too, and they should be labeled on kind of what we went over.
And all of the links I just posted again in the chat. And I do have someone's video downloaded. Do you want me to share my screen and hit the play?
You have what?
You wanted me to
No,
download.
I just saved that, and I'm gonna go over that with Brandon later. He wanted me to just kind of deep dive that. It's like a 30-minute call.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have time for a 30-minute
Yeah,
call.
but I was just gonna save that for me, and I'm gonna go over with Brandon later. But sweet. Does anybody else have any more questions, or we're still doing some Q&A? Anything. No dumb questions. Well, actually, there are dumb questions. I believe in there are dumb questions.
I have a question, Joey, again, a quick one.
Yeah, what's up, Brandon?
So yeah, if I'm doing direct to agent, we're mostly looking for on market because they're easy to find, they're easy to find equity, the rate. But you also want to throw in a cash offer just so they could entertain it, but it's never going to be something that they're going to bite at. Or is there a different strategy when you do complement a subject to or seller financing with a cash offer? What's kind of the angle?
I use an angle as in my cash offer is going to be below, when I look for low equity, my cash offer is going to be under what they owe, right? So they're never going to accept it. I'd be like, I could do cash, but here's where my cash offer is going to be. But if you're open to do something creative, right? I can give you over ask. I can give you at ask, right? That's kind of my angle. Is my cash is going to be right. They'll never accept it. It's below what they even owe, and I'll angle that to be like, well, actually, I'll give you your ask if you go for subject too.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
Makes
I
sense.
angle my cash offer. I don't want to. They're never going to accept my cash offer.
No, and you don't want them to, or if they do, that's good, right? But they're never going to do it, right?
They're not going to accept that now.
Okay.
It's going to be like 20K below they even know. It's like, do they want to write a 20K check or make 10K with my offer? Which one are you going to take? But yeah,
and I know a lot of people, they do the subject to offer, then they have an email attached to it that says the FAQs, maybe they insert a video. What is subject to? Is there anything that you guys on your team like add on to that email offer or anything to help?
yeah, Well, on my whenever I send an offer, I put an FAQ as subject to. I put my credibility letter where they can call my
Okay.
past sellers, they can call past agents, title companies, and verify everything that I'm saying. And I put my lender's info um
Okay. Oh,
to
lenders
tell
info.
to
Okay.
so they can pick their brand on how this will affect their buying power, their debt to income, their veteran entitlement. So I add all those things when I send an offer.
And typically the debt to income wipe off with you go through a servicing company or whatever, right? What's the typical time frame if someone has to buy that next property? Is it short or is it kind of take a while to
Now
wipe
it
out that
depends
DTI?
on so the debt to income thing, it depends on if they want to buy right away
Mm-hmm.
or if they want to buy later down the road. If they want to buy
Okay.
right away, we have to
Mm-hmm.
do what's called a lease. We have to do what's called departing residence. So we have to do a
Oh,
lease
release.
option,
Okay.
right? We have to sign a lease option with the seller, make the payment every month to get a certain amount to get 100% of that debt to income wiped. Then they can go qualify for their new property. Then they can close. Then later down the road, we close on a Subto. But if they don't want to buy for like a year or 2 years, it comes
It's
off their
fine,
debt to
huh?
income in 12 months.
Okay.
And this is what my lender tells me. It's called paid by others, PBO. If you go
Mm-hmm.
12 on time monthly payments from a servicing company, then it shows them, hey, they haven't been responsible for this loan. We're taking it off their debt to income.
Is
So we can
that
always get
lease
over the DTI.
option? That makes sense. And that lease option conversation, is that more on like, is that another hurdle to jump over to, like with an agent? Like, because they're probably not
No,
used to that too.
I still tell
Okay.
them it's still the same thing. They're still going to get the down payment. You're still going
Mm-hmm.
to get your listing commission. It's just going to be
Mm-hmm.
a different contract to get you
Okay.
qualified.
That
Yeah,
makes sense. It's just a solution to the problem that they have with the DTI, I guess.
correct. And this is
Okay.
what I always say: the only time a subject to is not going to work, right, unless they just don't want it, is for a
Mm-hmm.
veteran who needs that entitlement. Who they have a
Correct.
certain
Yeah.
entitlement, right? They have 600 grand of entitlement. They're using 500 grand. They want to go get $300,000 house. It's just not going to work. And we never want to hold up a veteran's entitlement if he needs it. That's the only
Yeah, I
time it,
know. I have
where
to
it's
deal with the
not.
VA all the time and it's not fun.
So we close a lot of VAs, and I like
Just did.
VAs because in a VA it specifically states on their contract in their loan docs they're allowed to subject to their loan. Like they
Oh,
won't call
really?
the loan due for it. Yeah, that's why I like VAs the most.
Yeah,
Even though they're the hardest.
I bought my property in Dallas, my primary residence with a VA loan, and like a week later I rented it out. And you guys don't know the address, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. My buddy's a veteran agent and lender. He's like, dude, there's no mortgage police. Like, just pay your mortgage. Like, they're never gonna know. But a lot of people that have VA loans that want to rent it out, like, like just for me, I just say do it because he told me to do it. But a lot of veterans are dealing with these issues like, hey, like this sounds good, but I'm so scared of the VA and losing benefits. So having that conversation, like you said, on entitlement and being able to do it well and articulate that to the vet, it probably takes practice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, yeah, that's why I like VAs a lot,
Thanks,
just
Joe. I
because it
appreciate it.
specifically states they can do it. Let's
Hmm.
see. Wendell, I hope I said that right. I have an opportunity to acquire a fourplex here in Santa Cruz. This agent has the property listed for 800K over market. Sellers want to retire and mitigate capital gains. Agent, what does that say? More concerned with padding her commission. What should be my best plan of action when reopening negotiations in this case? I mean that's sounds like a tough one. I'd love to deep dive that one. I really like California, but you want to send that in one of the links? So send that lead into one of the links and put all the notes on it, and we can have a separate phone call about that one. But yeah, seller wants to retire and mitigate capital gains. Sounds like a good seller finance if they want to mitigate capital gains on if they're 800K over market. So, and the agent's concern about her commission. That sounds like another one where I call the seller. But yeah, put that in the links. I'll help you with that one. I'll take a look at it. California's tough though. Go direct to seller. Yeah, what Mason said. Let's see. Anybody else got any other questions? If you don't, we could show Dylan's that seller call. It's a really good call. Kind of gets over a lot of objections. Anybody have
Oh
any
yeah,
questions?
and then on I think today it's gonna go live. Subto, we're having an octagon challenge, like who's the best closer, and they're gonna let the public watch, but it'll be on YouTube, on Pace's YouTube. It starts at 3 Mountain Standard Time today. But this is the video that Dylan won.
Can you
To
put
go
that
the
link
next
in the
round.
time, Angie, in the chat so people can go there?
Say it again.
Can you put the link? So I know people have it, but Pace's YouTube link and the time that's going to happen.
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm gonna go grab his video.
Grab his video and show it. Trying to look in the chat, see if I missed any questions. No, just let me know, guys. If you got any questions? Love to answer anything about creative.
I'll go ahead and share it now.
Are you just gonna show it? All right. I think I gotta.
Is this a subject too?
It is, yes.
Okay, we didn't know that there was actually one offered. We did know that people had like, hey, are they open to this kind of thing? We didn't know that one was open, and basically what we were explained is that by the time we paid for kind of like fees and all that kind of stuff to make sure that all of our ducks were in a row, per se, I think is how we put it, that we wouldn't walk away with that much.
There's a lot of attorneys that don't understand it, and I'll be transparent. There is some risk involved, but we buy 3 to 5 of these a month in Texas, and we do a pretty good job of protecting you as the seller to basically inherit all that risk for you. So, and I can explain it to you, all the legalities, all the mechanisms of how it would work. So, right, if you guys were to sell at your price $350 today, you might break even, you might walk away with a couple $1,000s. So my offer would guarantee $15,000 in your pocket. You know, it is all on the up and up. We go through ESCO, we have a title company, so it's not like a handshake type of deal. Our purchase price would be $335, so $15,000 above what you owe, and you would get all $15,000 of that. What we do is we have a third-party company called a servicing company. They take automatic withdrawals from our bank account and make sure that your mortgage is paid every month, including taxes and insurance, HOA if there is one. Now, what the risks are, there's mainly 2 risks with this type of transaction. The first one being what happens if we stop making payments, right? Because
that was a concern whenever we heard about
exactly,
the potential of this. Okay.
For sure, and we could get abducted by aliens, our business could go bankrupt, anything, right? So with the servicing company, we make a payment 1 month ahead automatically. We have what's called a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Basically meaning if we miss 1 month, we are forfeiting everything that we've put down. We forfeit the $15,000, we forfeit any monthly payments we've made. You would just file evidence that a payment has been missed, and you get the home deeded back to you typically within the same day, and that costs $20 to file that document with the county. So that's the first risk. Obviously, it could be a benefit too, right? You get the home back. Let's say if that happens in 5 years, right? Maybe it's appreciated. We've paid the loan down some, and now you have more equity. Okay, so now the second risk is every lender has what's called a due on sale clause. See that you sold the property, they have the right to call the note due, or basically foreclose. The first thing we've done is we call the lender, and you know, most lenders are in the business to earn interest, right? They don't want to foreclose, they don't want to own real estate, they want to own notes. A payment's never been missed, right? We're continuing to make the payment. We explain to them basically what happened. It's very possible they understand and they approve of it. If they don't, we have 3 options. We can either pay the loan off in cash, which in my offer I included a proof of funds. Another option would just to be to refinance the property, so us go and get our own loan. and the third one would be to sell it. And then there is one more risk too. He has what's called an entitlement, right? A VA entitlement. Yep. So are you guys looking to buy something immediately or rent for a while? What does that look like?
I'm not looking to buy immediately, but would like it to be open if the opportunity all of a sudden presented itself for us to, hey, this is a great deal, let's go ahead and grab it.
With this loan remaining in place, right, there's questions about debt to income, your entitlement being tied up. So what I have you do is just speak to one of my lenders. He's licensed, so he's not going to, I guess, lie to you in any way. He's going to be very honest because he could risk losing his license if he's not honest, right? So he'll work with you to see, okay, if this loan stays in place, how soon could you get a new property? How much could you afford? So that way you guys know before a contract's ever even signed what your buying power looks like moving forward.
So we get the $15,000 in pocket, all the paperwork starts happening, and then you guys are basically making payments for us.
Why don't I send you an email? I'll send you basically the offer that I sent to your agent. I'll send you some frequently asked questions about Subject to, and then some information about our company. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. And then if you want to move forward, we can obviously talk what it looks like with your agent. Well, yeah, thanks, Joni, so much.
Great.
Yeah.
What was your name again?
It's Dylan.
Dylan? Okay, awesome. Thanks for the call, Dylan. I appreciate it.
All right. You have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. And here's the HUD statement from that deal. So this was 216 Cloud Road in Hutto, Texas. Kane Title was the title company that we used. And you can see we did actually make a $12,000 assignment fee from wholesaling this deal. We sold it to a sub-2 student. Our sellers actually ended up making $22,000. Their agent did not want to touch the deal. It was a brand new Keller Williams agent. It was actually a friend of the sellers. His broker told him that they can't touch it. So what we were going to offer to pay the agent, we actually just ended up giving the seller. So they were stoked. They made $22,000 when they were at the point where they were going to lose money. So we made $12,000. We also helped a sub-2 student close this deal. They brought the lead to us and we closed it. So this was their very first deal. They got paid from the assignment fee as well too. And yeah, so here's just proof that this deal did close.
There you go.
Sweet. See that? Creative finance. I mean, they were going to make $0 on market and they made 22 grand. And we still made 12 grand from it. I mean, that's the power of creative finance.
There's a lot in it. Dylan went over risks, right? And he had the comebacks for the risk, the D, the entitlement. He had third-party verification in there with the lender who's verifying it. He had credibility in there with the credibility letter he sent it over. We were doing a JV on the deal, and it was a direct to agent. So there's a lot going on in that deal and in that call. But because Dylan had all of those things ready to spat out, that person trusts him a hell of a lot more than the other people that they've spoken to. So that's a great call to mimic, guys. So I'm glad we got a chance to look at that.
Yeah, other people just kind of, they want to call and just get the contract and say, hey, let me send you something. Dylan listed the risk. She didn't even ask. He was letting her know what the risks were without her asking. So she's like, oh, wow, he's not hiding anything from me. He's letting me know every single thing that could go wrong and how they have structures in place to make sure they don't go wrong. And if they do, how to fix them. Got over her VA entitlement issue, right? Let her know. Let's have you speak with the lender first. And that's why I always do on VAs. I'm like, let's make sure you have the entitlement. We know where you want to move. We don't want to hold up your entitlement ever. We never want to make 3 years down the road, they're like, oh, somebody substituted your mortgage, you can't get another loan. Dylan was like, no, let's get a hold of the lender first and make sure we can even get you into another property, which they did. And that's why you see that it closed. But yeah, all in all, awesome. I think Robert, you have a question about that call?
Yeah, that was a DTA, and how you guys get touch with the sellers. So the DTA the agent didn't want to deal with it, or?
Yeah, the agent, their broker told him, we don't do subject twos, right? They're illegal. We can't do them. We won't touch them. So Dylan's like, okay, cool. Well, I called the seller, told him, hey, you want to make 11 grand instead of 0 or cutting a check? And they're like, oh, what? Really? They're like, well, your broker said they didn't want to do it. They're like, oh, well, you know what? We don't even need the agent. And it was their friend. And then Dylan was like, I'll give you what I was going to give the agent. I was going to give the agent 10 grand and I was going to give you 11. So now you're going to get 20 grand. right? They got 20 grand, and we're still enough room for us to assign it and make a good fee. But yeah, that's why I talked to the agent. Agent didn't want to deal with it. Cool. I'm going right to the seller. Right. Well, we gave the agent a chance. It could have made 10 grand.
How long was on the market, this property?
I'm not sure about that one. I forget what that one was. I don't think it was very long in the market. The timeline of the market doesn't really matter to us when we're calling these low equities. Sometimes we want to get there first, honestly,
Gotcha.
because they're going to get bombarded by 50 Subto offers.
Makes sense.
But it's just
I
the
like them
way.
at 40 days.
Yeah.
I like them like 30 or 40 days because they've already went through a couple weekends and open houses and such. The last one, the one that I posted in there was a VA. We took over a VA. It was a hybrid deal, and I think it was at 40 days when we got it, 30 or 40 days. They were motivated. You'll see that in the link if you guys haven't not the link in the chat. Go through the chat and you'll see it. I broke down the
Yeah, you go in the chat. There was a deal. We were helping a guy find a property. He's a veteran. The seller wanted him to assume the loan, which could take forever. They still change the rate. They still change everything on you, and it takes like 3 months. And then we're like, no, how about he just comes with, some money at down, like a big down payment, which he came with 100 grand. This is a homestead buyer, by the way, not an investor. Came with 100 grand down, and then the seller carried him another 63 grand at 5%. So now the seller's making a lot more money at the end of the day, at the end of this term. They got 5% rate on their equity. They're going to make way more money in the end. They're
Well,
like,
Joe,
oh,
you
shit,
know
well,
what enticed him? He said, because we wanted him to carry that 63 for free and he wouldn't do it. He said, I can take that and make 5 or 6% in whatever. So I said, all right, we'll give you 5%. But I need 15 years because I had it at 10 when we had no interest. But we need 15 years to make the payments right. And he was all for it. So now he doesn't have to take that $63,000 out and find any place to put it. He's already got it in a place that's making him more money. So he was stoked about it. And then the payment on that one is $23.48. Let's just call it $2,400. If he bought that outright, just a traditional manner, he'd be at least
40, yeah, 4,300.
$4,000 a month, even with putting that 100 grand down.
Yeah,
Even
a
with
$2,300 payment in Colorado on a $500,000 house is impossible. And anywhere, the rates are, the rates are 7-8%.
And when we
That'd be
first started
impossible.
talking to that agent, he was like, nah, it's just assumable. You can just assume this loan. They don't want to do anything else. And he actually told me no. And I just kept talking to him. I actually got it out when I started talking to him when we were out in Mastermind out in Arizona. But we kept talking and talking. It took us a few phone calls and a few back and forth. And then he was like, all right, I want to see something, but I want to go through the weekend first and see if I get a deal. He didn't get a deal through the weekend. So then he was all for our deal. And then we had to educate him, and we had to give him all of our documents and show him how we're going to do it, because the agent was thorough and he wanted to make sure he was making the right choice for his people. But at the end of the day, he was stoked and happy and really went off without a hitch, man. That was a great deal that we did. Everybody was happy. The sellers had already moved. They went to Alaska, so they were already out of the house. So they were making 2 payments. My guy had just got a divorce, so he needed to be in that specific area for him and his kid. He runs a business that needed a little extra room in the house and a little extra room in the garage and the backyard, and that all came with it. So everybody was totally happy on that. It's a great deal. I like doing that. That's the ones that makes you feel good, and we made some money off.
Exactly. That's what creative finance does, man. It just solves problems. Basically, I mean, that's our name, real estate problem solver. That's literally all it does. It just solves problems. People always make the most money in a creative deal. And it always works unless you're a veteran, need an entitlement. That's what I always say. That's the only time I really think it just does not work, is when you need that entitlement. But other than that, you always make the most money. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't fit for everybody, but for a lot of people it does.
Yeah, most people it fits, but with low equity, or you're open to something creative and you can't get it sold. But low equity, when you're going to lose money with the deal, go Subto every time.
But we do also have like one right now you're working on, Joey, where they said the agent's like, we're not going to do it at all. We don't care. We're going to do a short sale.
Yeah, you'll get that one, agents too.
What's going on with that one? Tell us a little bit about that one, Joey.
So I get this a lot. I call a short sale, right? And if you don't know what a short sale is, they're listed for under what they owe. So the bank is taking a hit. It's kind of like a foreclosure for the seller, or messes up their credit for like 7 years. But the agent gets their commission on a short sale. So that's why I get a lot of a pushback from agents when I pitch sub two to them on a short sale, because they kind of blow me off. They're like, no, no, we're gonna get this on, because my offer, I always try to get them at least 2%, which sometimes in a short sale they can get their full 3.5%, 4%. They can get a lot more commission, right? But the seller gets screwed. They lose money. Their credit gets messed up, and they don't make any money with the deal. My offer, I actually put money in their pocket. I clean up their arrears, and I'll pay the agent something. But I'll get an agent who like, nope, we're going through the short sale. I advise my seller to do a short sale. So again, I called the seller, told them how they don't have to do a short sale. I can get money in their pocket, and I'll still pay your agent. And they're way more interested in my offer. Like, what? I don't got to do a short sale? I'm like, yeah, that does mess up your credit for like at least 7 years. It's just a step under a foreclosure. Um, so yeah, I go straight to the seller every time, because you'll get a lot of pushback from agents on short sales, because right, they know they're going to get it sold. They don't have to go look for a buyer. The bank's just going to take the hit, and they get their commission. So that's why I get a lot of fight from agents on that. But then you'll get the good agents, right? You're like, oh, God, they don't have to do a short sale, right? I'll let them make money. Just give me $5,000, right? You'll get those agents, but those are the good ones. You want to keep those ones on your side. What's up, Mason? Mason's my guy, by the way. He's one of my callers, man. He's my soldier. He's a sub two student. He's awesome.
I just wanted to share because I had a story that's somewhat similar to that, where this seller I was talking to, she was advised by her brother. She was behind on her payments, and his advice was for her to just file bankruptcy so that nobody could touch her for a certain period of time, and she could just live rent free. And like that was the advice that her brother was giving her. And I talked to her brother, and he was like, dude, I did this 8 years ago and it took a while, but now I have an 800 credit score. And I'm like, that was 8 freaking years.
8 years ago.
Like, what is this? So you hear some weird solutions with people that are just really hard-headed,
Yeah. They just
8
don't want
years, you
anybody
could go
else to
bald in
win.
that amount of time, man.
Right.
A long time.
Crazy.
Yeah, just 8 years ago, he had a mullet. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man. No, yeah. I like short sales though, because you can always help the seller in a short sale. But sometimes, right, you'll call a short sale, and which Mason knows this. We were calling a short sale on our meeting the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, I got a way you don't have to do a short sale, man. I can get some money in your pocket." I was like, "What are your arrears?" And he goes, well, I don't know how they come up with this, but it's 60 grand. I went, oh, crap. He goes, yeah, my loan's only 200, whatever. I was like, oh, when's the last time you paid? And he goes, just a little before COVID. Oh shit. He's gone like 4 years without making the payment. I don't know how he's still in there. They haven't foreclosed on him. But you'll get that sometimes in a short sale, they haven't paid in 4 damn years. I don't want to I don't want to take over that one up too. But what I'm gonna do is actually have him do a loan mod, because he does qualify for a loan mod. He makes 2.5x of with the mortgages, which I don't know why he doesn't just pay the damn mortgage. But he's gonna do a loan mod, and then I'm gonna subject to his new terms he gets from that loan mod, as long as they're still good. So that's a way to get around if they have a lot of arrears. Have the seller do a loan modification, tack whatever those arrears were on the back, right? Maybe they up the interest rate by 0.5%, it's still like 3.9, 4.2. We'll take over that subject to all day. So that's a way to get around if they have a bunch of arrears. Instead of just paying it off, see if they qualify for a loan modification, subject to that. Get real creative with it. Let's see. Let's see if I missed any questions. Feels so good knowing you're helping someone from a foreclosure.
Someone asked, how long was the whole process from start to finish?
Who said that?
Simon.
I did, Simon.
Which process? Which deal?
Dylan's conversation, that deal. How long was the whole process?
Maybe my computer's lagging. I couldn't hear what he said.
He said, how long was Dylan's whole process? How long from start to finish?
That was like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Is that usual? Is it for something like that? Especially checking with lenders and all that, and doing all the background stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we get something under contract, if you're talking about like from first touch to sale, I'd say yeah, probably a little longer than 30 days. It's probably, like 45. But from under contract to wholesale, yeah, like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Really quick.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. I got another question. I've just done a PML deal, my first PML deal, which is relatively easy because, let's face it, you don't have to do much. But it was in California, Los Angeles, and I come in third position. Now, little did I realize, everybody kind of turned around and says, hell no, at third position. But what's your view on that in terms of the security around it? I've got the securities, I think. I just want you to actually tell me whether I'm.
I'll let Dom answer that for you. We
Depends
know a
on
lot
the deal. It just depends on how much equity is in the deal. If there's not going to be a lot of equity in your third position, you're the last one to get paid.
You're last in line.
So
yeah,
you really have to know that the deal is.
What did you loan it for? Like, how long? Like, what are your
right? The term is 6 months, and it's $26,000 and 40% ROI.
40%.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah,
you need to do that because of your exposure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, some people just like to loan like that, but some people won't do that. It just depends on your risk tolerance and how well you could read that deal. But
And you recorded your lien with your 40% in third position on the property?
Yeah, it's all been done. Yeah, it was done with the TC as well. So I checked all the paperwork. I just thought I would present it to you to see what your thoughts were in terms of any negatives that I might have missed, but I can't see that there is.
Yeah, I mean, the only bad thing about being in third position is if, things go south, he can't pay you back, and they got to sell the house. If it's not worth enough to pay everybody, the guys in first and second are getting their money first, right? And it could trickle down to you where,
we
it's
did
not
one
gonna
like
sell.
that where the guy was in third and loaned it, but we got a car as collateral, like $120,000 car as collateral, which saved his butt. And that was the only way he would.
He got an
He was
RA
third position. Yes. He filed bankruptcy, had to sell I mean, it was horrible, but he's getting his money because he got that car. So sometimes you might have to get a little bit creative and get more of just than the home or the asset that they're working on, maybe another asset that they have to secure the debt. That would be something I would recommend in the third position.
Yeah,
another
find
thing.
out he's got a Rolex or something you can take.
Yeah, another thing that a lot of people, and even Pace, turned around and says, don't bother going anywhere near California. Now, of course, this being the first one, but because it was protected and a TC involved in it, there's a lot of different bits of paperwork because of the laws around lending in California. Do you know much about that?
I don't know much about lending in California. Pace just said that because he don't like to own in California. He doesn't like to own anything really in blue states.
Right.
Just because those landlord laws are, I mean, you know what they are.
Right. Yeah.
Person can live in your house.
But apart from that, I think everything seemed very good. It was all done through Gators and Subto students. So it's
and you sent the money to a title company, right?
Yeah, everything's through title company. Okay. It's all kind of done. It's probably one of the easiest things that in terms of a deal for a first deal, because let's face it, we haven't got to think too much, have we? Everybody else has done that. All I've done is wired the money really, and just check.
What kind of deal is it? Is it a flip deal? Is that what it is?
Yeah, fix and flip. Yeah.
Fix and flip. Okay, and so you're in the middle of the deal right now, right?
It's funny enough. It's just started. I wired it this week, so it kind of closes on Monday, and then the 6 months starts from then.
And then the fix and flipper, do you know them? Do they have a track record?
They've got a track record. Yeah, they've been doing it in the area, and and yeah, all the paperwork has come good on it, and I've crossed the T's, dot the I's, and asked all the questions, and made sure that if nothing else, that it was there was a lien on the property, so they can't kind of shift it without paying me.
Are you loaning on the renovation or a part of the purchase price? What are you loaning on exactly? Like, what do they need your money for?
I think it's got to be the purchase price, yeah. It's got to be. But having said that, you see, they've said that I'm going to get weekly updates on the actual renovation, so it's part of it.
Have they shared the whole contract, the whole deal with you, so you know exactly like what their projections are, what they're paying for the house, all that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah. I even, because I've got privy, I went on and found it anyway. They give me due diligence, a lot of due diligence to start off with. They even give me a rundown on the actual lender, the borrower. So I can't really fault it. And let's face it, it's my first deal as regards to that. So I'm not going to question too much, apart from the fact that, there's my money. How's it going to be secured,
Yeah, that's your first deal and you're all secured up like that. That's great. A lot of people I see on their first deal, they get so excited about what they're going to earn and forget to put all the little things in place. And everybody, I've been there. You get excited about the deal. So kudos on not doing that.
Yeah. Well, I've been chasing the process more than I am the money, to be fair. Because, everything, I mean, the Subto situation, I've been doing direct to agents, and let's face it, they're the gatekeeper to everything, aren't they? And I've found out that I've not been successful as that yet, but I think it's all about the relationship more than the deal to start off with. And you've got to basically speak to them and get them around, because if 30 people have phoned prior and asked one question without even asking anything else, you're on an uphill struggle, aren't you?
Right.
So, but that's it. That's all I've got, guys. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks, Simon.
Great. Thanks, man. Thanks, Simon.
Cheers, Joe. Thanks.
Sweet. We're approaching an hour. Does anybody have any more questions, man?
I'm at a hard stop, Joey, so I can't go much longer, but
Okay.
I don't have any.
Yeah, we want to kind of try to keep these an hour. We usually go over if we're, making agent calls or something, which I think we're going to do next week. Call some sellers, call some agents, kind of see some live stuff going down. So you can hear the objection handling live, kind of like that phone call we watched.
And then everybody who's asked to join the team for the 18-minute challenge.
Are there people on here?
I don't know, but if they're watching this, rewatching it.
Yeah, I'm in it as well.
Okay,
we're gonna reach out to everybody. Yeah, we had everybody reaching out in all kinds of different ways, so we had to put everybody together, their emails, their text, phone numbers, all that stuff. So we're putting something together. We'll be sending out an email hopefully today, just saying kind of what the next steps are. But we're kind of in the dark too. Hi, Rach, there you are. We're kind of in the dark too with pace, so we won't know until a little bit later, as well as like what's actually going to happen too. So be patient with us. We didn't forget about you. We're not ignoring you at all.
Right.
Yeah, I will be sending out that email to everyone. I also don't have everyone's emails. So the emails that I have, we will be sending out information to everyone. But then also I did just post in like the chat everything, our Facebook group, which I did just post all of the new links. So if you have direct to seller, direct to agent, or if you're an investor or have a wrap buyer and need help dispoing a deal, please use all those links. But when you join the Facebook group, it's important that you answer all of the questions. You will not be accepted into the Facebook group unless you answer those questions. So that's very important for us to do. So if you can do that, then you get access to all of the links.
We do that to keep the integrity of the Facebook page. We want quality, good people in there, so it's good for everybody. So sometimes we get some trolls and people who just don't have the same heart as everybody in here right now, and we just try to keep those type out. So please answer the questions. It's good for everybody.
Well, sweet. Yeah.
Alice,
anything else, Rachel?
Quick, she said we choose any dates for the 18-minute challenge. There's not like anything dates like set up yet. Pace is going to be talking to us a little bit more like about it. We're structuring a little bit of stuff on our end. So when we have a Zoom, you will get an email from me with the updated Zooms, and we will tell you about our business and what we're going to be doing and seeing if it would be a good fit for you guys. So stay tuned for emails. But Angie did put my email in the chat. If you guys would like to be a part of that and learn more about that, let us know. But that is also only for Pace is capping it for sub 2 students, Astro, Gator, and TC. So if you're not one of those students, please use Angie's referral link to get into sub 2 if you guys would like to be a part of that challenge. But we're still going to be doing these every Tuesday and Friday, so don't worry. I think that's all I got now.
Yep. And if you need help with the lead, submit it in those links. Me, Dylan, and Jake will be helping you with that. Help anybody with their lead. You need help on a dispo. We got tons of buyers. If you want to pay for leads, hit up my boy Greg. He's the best at it. He's the best in America at it. So hit up geoflip.com. That's my guy. So yeah.
Greg, you need to
come in the Discord too.
Greg, you need to change your picture, man, when you're not on screen. You're too handsome for the rest of us. We're like, what the hell is he doing?
You're making us look bad.
I appreciate that kind words. I get a promo and a compliment. Look at that.
You're making us look bad, brother. Actually, I'm getting more handsome. I'm just showing more and more of my face. That's why I'm losing my hair. Just keep showing more.
Exactly. Well, sweet guys. Make sure you join the Discord too. All that should be on the Facebook, but big things coming in there. Big things coming. Thanks guys. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it, everybody.
Hit me up.
Thanks.
Hit Dylan up, at Jacob, Dom, Angie, Rachel. Hit us all up. Call Greg if you need leads, but only if you got cash. You need cash to pay for his leads.